Welcome back to Browns Live. We are joined by the longest tenured Brown, Joel Bitonio, who is not nearly as sweaty as Perrion Winfrey was the other day.
To be fair, it's different weather today than it was Saturday.
I was
Saturday
going to make a
whole
comment on
different-
how
a
hard
whole-
the O-line is actually working.
No, I appreciate that. If you would have saw me, I lost 10 pounds last practice. This practice, not as much. You know, we got some cloud cover, a little bit chillier out.
Are you still having to work that hard as a veteran, as the longest tenured Brown? Is that weird to hear that?
Yeah, you know, the crazy thing is I've been the longest tenured Brown for like 4 years, which is, you know, a little bit wild. But, you know, I always think about it. I saw Joe here last week, and I remember he was going into year 8 when I got into the league, and I was like, oh, this old guy and stuff. And then now I'm like, I'm going to year 9. Like, I'm really the old guy now. And so it's a whole different world. But you're always working, especially on the O-line. You always got to put in the time and, you know, perfect your craft.
Okay, so let's start with the center, Nick Harris. Does it feel different to you, or since you've practiced so much again with him?
To me, so far, it's felt pretty normal because he's taken a lot of reps. You know, JC had a lot of those days, you know, taking care of his knee, taking care of his body. And so Nick, I mean, from his rookie year training camp has really been thrown in there. So I've played in preseason games with him. I've practiced with him all year round. So he's been in there. So it's felt pretty normal. And he's really, you know, taken command of the offense and, you know, been the leader of that line when he gets up there making the calls.
I'm cutting Nathan off, but when he gets confused, does he turn to you first or to Wyatt first?
Oh, definitely to me. No, Wyatt knows what he's doing too, but it's a group effort up there. But no, Nick's on top of his game. You know, you only have to remind him a little bit, and he's usually on top of it. And you know, him and Coach Callahan really work together to, you know, make sure they're on the same page.
Do you ever feel invisible though, being between him and Jed, because they're like such good friends, and that's like they're kind of a two-man gang?
No, they are great friends, but it's good because I'm working with both of them, so it works out. And me and Wyatt have our little handshake that we used to do with JC, so we still kind of do that to Nick. So we put him in the middle of us. It's all fun, you know what I mean? Me and JC were like, we always had our little thing. So if they had to deal with that for a few years, I can deal with their friendship.
Has Nick stepped up in the shuffleboard game? Has he like who's replaced JC in the big offensive line shuffleboard game?
You know, it's kind of got moved out of our like
area.
Sure, so it's been
with the employee gym.
Yeah, the employee
with the
gym.
plebes. Yeah, exactly.
So we don't walk back there as much. You know, we haven't really got playing. And JC was the kingpin of all that. He set it up. He made sure everything was going. So we haven't played quite as much this year.
Okay.
Joel needs to introduce a new game, clearly.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go across the line. We've talked about this. I said that the Browns have arguably one of the best offensive lines in the NFL, and Nathan got upset with me. He said, no, it is the best.
That's right.
And the deepest, he claimed. Obviously, health is a key. So let's start with Jedrick Wills. What's the big change you've seen in him this year? Because going against Myles Garrett, it's hard for us pedestrian people.
Well, he got in our show today. We got a one-on-one rep with you and Myles Garrett when you're like probably like, what are you doing going over the?
Oh yeah,
is that
yeah.
necessary?
No, it was a good battle though.
I think you got the best of it.
Yeah,
We
I
said
got
the
him.
Quarterback got the pass.
I got him that one time, and that's all that matters. But no, Myles is such a you know, tough matchup for anybody. So Jed coming into camp, I think he needs to just focus on his fundamentals, which he has, and you know, he's ready to take that next step. He's been banged up the last year, and those injuries he's had last year were injuries where it's like sometimes you can play through them, but you're never fully yourself. So you know, it took him a while, and I think this year he's healthy, he's feeling good, and he's ready to just build on those fundamentals. And, you know, as an offensive lineman, sometimes it takes a year or two to really develop, but hopefully he takes that next step. And going against Myles, going against Clowney, it really helps. And sometimes camp is tough because, you know, you're not going to win every rep against Myles Garrett, and so there's some confidence that you got to build
Sure.
and keep working through. But when you do beat him, it does feel good.
I bet it feels fantastic. Yeah. You would know. Like we said, we scored that with one for Bitonio. Don't tell Myles we said that.
Yeah, no need to tell him that.
All right, we said we're going to go left to right. So that's Jed Wills. What about that left guard who's in year 9? Is there anything more that he could possibly do?
You know, I really do feel like I've had, you know, 2 of my better years the last 2 years, and I kind of want to keep going. I'm 30 years old now, but I feel great. You know, I think I had a good off season, and I feel good coming into camp. So I want to keep improving and keep taking that next step. You know, you see guys like Marshall Yanda, I felt like ended his career on a very high note. You know, he played 13 years in this league. I'm only going to 9. So I feel like I have time left in my body, and I want to, you know, help lead these guys, and I want to be part of some winning season. So I'm feeling good.
All right, so then we went to the center. Now we'll go to the right guard, who said this week that it's time for this team to kick some butt and run the ball.
Yeah.
Does he go tell Kevin Stefanski that? That I don't care what pass catchers you have, let's just run the ball?
I don't know. I mean, he's not afraid to open his mouth ever. But I don't know if he'd tell Coach Stefanski that. You know, we linemen love running the ball, and that's part of it. But no, Wyatt's one of our you know, enforcers out there. He's going to run, and he's going to pull and hit people and make those plays for us in the run game. And that's what he does. He's come in here and he's working with some new guys over on the right side because Jack's still coming back from the knee. But he's a big piece of our offense, and he's a big piece of what we do. We pull both guards. We're kind of multiple in our scheme, and he fits in really well.
And Jack obviously has worked so hard on his rehab. Do you feel him kind of chomping at the bit to get in there?
Yeah, and I think they're doing a good job. I mean, he put in so much time this offseason here, and I know Coach Stefanski made a point of telling us how strong he got comparative to where he was and the work he's put in. And big guys and knee injuries is a tough one, so I know he's working to really push back. They're slowing him in a little bit, but he's going to be ready when it's time to roll, I think.
All right, I want you to peel the curtain back on the great fun that is an offensive line room and all the different rules and such things that happen there. And my big question centers around your participation in the drone video and your cannonball. And I want to know if don't die. Listen,
sorry, guys.
He's good. Can
we do a Heimlich on a man this large?
Listen, I would try. I love this man. Did you get what was the response to the drone video in your room? Was it shown in a film session? And then was there commentary on the splash, or what we could say was
the lack thereof?
Okay,
yes.
So at first a lot of people were giving me a little bit of trouble for my splash, but Joe Thomas made a great point, defended my honor, and said, like an Olympic diver, if an Olympic diver is going to the pool, are they going to make a splash?
No, but that's their goal. That's the stated goal of their entry into the pool.
And that was my stated goal of
entry.
entry.
Okay, all right.
After the fact. It was
what
stated
execution?
after.
What execution?
Just a pure entry into the pool. Make it good. Honestly, I had no idea. It was a one-take thing, and I just jumped. I hadn't jumped in yet, and I was a little disappointed in the splash, honestly. But
the form was great. The
after looking at
goggle
the
put
form,
down. I mean, business. It was awesome.
Yeah, I was ready for it. I didn't know how big the splash was, but I mean, the drone footage was great, and I mean, just having the drone that close to you was pretty cool. Anyway, that guy was a monster on the sticks.
Oh yeah, when I did my little part, it buzzed my tower pretty good. I was like, okay, all right, I'm glad that I'm
Is there
still
something else that you're hoping to do this year off the field besides the winning and all of that? Just like that, appearing in a video, drone video.
I don't know if you can. We're sitting next to advertisement royalty here.
Which is why I asked.
mean,
according to
I don't know
Dan
where you go
Murphy,
from
you have
there.
both the best and worst commercial in team history.
The best and the worst. Is it one commercial?
It might very well be.
I do have a few commercials out there. When you're the longest tenured Brown, some of the stuff works to you. But I'm open. I'm ready for commercials. Anybody who needs one, I'm ready to.
Open for business, right?
Pitchman, why not throw that one in there?
That's right. Capitalize on. Why should all the high school kids and college kids have all this NIL fun? You should.
Right.
Right.
I'm ready for you.
Bitonio, let's go.
If we could bring it back to one other sort of more serious thing quickly. Joe Thomas was talking about how difficult the quarterback cadence was for him. That, he played with 800 different quarterbacks, and everybody had a different one. You obviously are going to, you are most likely going to play with multiple quarterbacks this year. How is that being managed, and how much of a difference does that make?
I think every day we've gotten reps with Jacoby and Deshaun, just to prepare for the, we don't really know what's happening, but prepare for, the inevitable. And it's good. You get different reps, and like Joe's told you guys, like, the cadences are different. You work with guys, and for me, every time a quarterback comes into a game or something, I ask them right there, I'm like, what's your cadence? What's your on one? What's your on two? Like, let me hear it, because I'm jumping the snap. Like, that's my advantage over the defense. I can get off quicker,
Yeah.
So I need to know that, and I'm a little jumpy anyway. Like, that's just, what I do. So I need to know their cadence. So it's something I listen to and I work with. And once you practice with them enough, if you get a week of practice with a guy, usually you're pretty locked into it.
Are they fairly close?
Yeah, and our coaches do a good job there. I think they got recording devices on them or something, and they're listening to their cadence every day to make sure they're right on time and they're as close as
Joe
possible.
tried to train him. Joe was like, no, this is how it's going to be. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah, Joe would tell him, especially like the silent count and stuff, because he would jump it, better than anybody.
Well, let's talk about the bigger picture of that. Nathan made this point. We watch practice every day, and whether it's Jadeveon Clowney chopping it up with somebody or Amari Cooper and a cornerback, guys really genuinely, even Nick Chubb has been laughing. So we're seeing these guys connect with each other, hang out with each other, seemingly really enjoy being out here. How are you managing sort of this ongoing uncertainty?
Yeah. The guys have been great, and I think it starts with Coach Stefanski. He's just so even-keeled about the situation, control what we can control. And right now we're controlling practice and trying to get better and honestly starting to prepare for Jacksonville, starting tomorrow. And so all those things matter, and at the end of the day, some decisions can be made that's out of our control. So right now we're enjoying our teammates, and we're working, and we're just trying to be the best team we can be. And, depending on who's the quarterbacks out there, we'll be ready to go.
Does the camaraderie feel different?
We feel good. I mean, I've been here for a long time, but I think the guys in the locker room are happy to be here and willing to work, and I think they trust the plan that we've been put in place.
How much are you going to play against Jacksonville?
I haven't got the call yet, so I don't know what the.
That was a good try right there. That was really good.
No, but
that was good. Veteran.
Right? I just tried to slide it in there.
I really don't know. All
right, I'm going to end 2 fun ones for you. Number one, I couldn't help but notice before you came over here, you made an immediate beeline for Chef Rocco Whalen. I'm sure that was very intentional on your part, and you're maybe contemplating a great dinner. Listen, he's got restaurants all over town and certainly in other states where we play a game, no big deal.
Yeah.
What's that relationship been like? And I know you guys are tight.
Oh, yeah, Chef Rocco's the man, Fahrenheit. John Greco introduced me first and foremost, and he knows his food. So,
sure.
So he took me there, and Chef Rocco's always taking care of us. When I did my little Bitonio Bites, segment for building the Browns, I had a little segment there. So since then we've known each other great, and he has a place in Charlotte, so that's our first game. So the O-line might be taken care of the first night, so we're trying to figure that out.
That would be good. And then number 2, I asked Nick Harris this: you have to go into a 2-on-2 death match with anybody else in the offensive line room. Who are you taking with you?
Oh, man. I'll take Wyatt with me, the guards.
So
the guards.
Wyatt is now unanimous. Now here's the second part. We'll see if it stays unanimous. Scott Peters is also eligible.
Scotty will come with me then.
Okay. So that you both said they both said the same thing.
Yeah.
Wyatt, and then once Scott Peters in the mix. Yeah, Scott Peters.
Yeah.
Joel Bitonio, thank you
what a treat.
for the
Thanks for
time.
having me, guys.
He's selling you out to your other teammates. He's running to Jack Conklin, being like, he didn't
It's
pick
all
you.
This so far is unanimous. I mean, it could be just a consensus in the room.
All right, we really appreciate Joel's time. Anybody listening, this is a pitchman, ready and eager. And you ask a fair rate.
This
right?
face moves
very
merch.
fair.
Look at it. Come on. Why they put him on the T-shirt.
That was yet another episode of Browns Live. We will see you Friday night from Jacksonville. Take care.